Watersound Origins is seeing one of the most interesting shifts that we've seen in a very long time, actually since the community has started. I think depending on where you find yourself, this could be the opportunity you're looking for, or the moment that you realize the market is shifting under your feet. So right now, it's obvious that single-family homes are dominating the market, and we're seeing more and more being added, especially as we come out of the summer of 2025 into the fall season. But what does that really mean? It's not that demand is going anywhere, it's just that buyers have a lot more negotiating power and a lot more breathing room to make certain opportunities happen. So it's not just a demand shift, we're also seeing an entire shift in the community and what buyers are expecting out of Watersound Origins. We're obviously more than halfway through 2025, and in Watersound Origins market has been anything but typical. If you have newer construction with a really great floor plan, chances are you're probably just sitting back feeling super exciting. But if you have an older home, I hate to say older in Watersound Origins, you're kind of looking at yourself and saying, hey, maybe this wasn't the best floor plan, or was the best floor plan at the time, and the inventory has gotten better in Watersound Origins. Those two situations mean a lot when we're looking at how to strategically price within the overall community. For buyers, this means that you get to be extremely picky, which is something we haven't heard in a very long time. We're kind of coming out of the pandemic where you had 24 hours to make an offer. Now you get to be selective on your plans, your finishings, the overall builders. You get to have a little bit more insight instead of making a quick decision. And that's why we create videos exactly like this, to build confidence before you even get into town. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at January 1st until about end of August of 2025, compare the data that we're seeing and illustrate it in a way to make it fully comprehensible. Let's lock in. Right now, there are 80 active single-family homes in Watersound Origins. They average about 2,590 square feet and are priced around $1.35 million on average, but the range is wide, from nearly $650,000 to almost $3.7 million. For me, this means one thing: buyers have so many options that I think people are starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed. So how do we make your property stand out on the selling side? Is it adding new accent walls? Is it upgrading some of the finishings in your floor plan that were hot in the early 20 or late 2010s and now they're not as hot in the 2025s? What are we looking at from the new builder's perspective, where they're incorporating new builds and shifting their floor plans and the finishings that we can reincorporate into a little bit of an older build? If you're shopping in that $1 million to $1.5 million price range in Watersound Origins, you get to be extremely selective. There's times where we're showing 10 to 15 properties at a time. We try to get people as much video tours as we can up front to maximize their time in the community, but there's still 10 to 15 options that you may want to check out in person. But the best properties with the best presentation are still selling the fastest. For sellers, this means one thing: strategy is extremely important. It's not just the price, it's not just the presentation, it's the overall package. You can't just come up with a price and say, hey, let's try this out in our current market environment. There's people that are willing to take that, and I think it shifts how people pursue the market. But on the buyer side, being smart and educated, when we're looking at the sale to list price ratio that we're going to talk about in a second, how does that compare to existing inventory versus new construction? And this is why having the right real estate agent right now in Watersound Origins matters more than ever. Moving to the pending sales, we've got 27 homes pending, averaging about $1.577 million and about 3,029 square feet. This tells me the sweet spot right now is for larger homes with strong finishes. Buyers are willing to pay up to what they feel like they're getting a value for. For buyers, this means that compared to what we talked about before, the $1.5 to about $1.8 million is still very competitive. You want to be prepared to move if you find the right property and the one that stands out to you. But it's also where I see a lot of off-market transactions happening as well. So if you're interested in that, make sure you use the information below. Get in touch with me. We'll talk all about off-market listings and Origins. It's a totally different beast. When we're looking at 1.5 to 1.8 million, we're getting a lot more into newer construction. We're seeing some of the better existing inventory kind of reach into that price range or come down in price to meet that price range. And when we're looking at 1.5 to 1.8, that is the demand segment that we're seeing the most amount of shift moving in the right direction in Origins. Now let's switch to sold home. What's actually moving right now in Watersound Origins? In the past year, 84 homes have sold in Origins. The average sold price was about $1.38 million, selling about 99% of list price, a sign of a market that's still relatively healthy. The average size of these homes that are selling are about 2,764 square feet. One key point that we look at when we're looking at sale to list price ratio, especially in Watersound Origins, is that you have new construction dominating the market. A lot of people are going to shift to new construction over existing inventory. But there's a whole reason why we're looking at this in two different segments. 99% of list price when it comes down to new construction and existing inventory. The moment we take new construction out, that number moves down to 97%. The reason of that is the builders are actually looking at offering incentives on lot premiums finishing selections while keeping that same base price, we're not having that same effect, obviously, in existing homes because there's no option to do so. So once you remove that new construction feel, the 97% sale to list price ratio matters a ton. So if you're listing at that $1.4 million price range, you can already kind of take that and kind of see what your purchase price may be. Of course, it's impossible to estimate purchase price, but I think it's a good idea of saying what the average market actually looks like right now in the community. So here's the key insight when we're looking at market data like this, is that homes are still taking about 124 days on the market to actually sell. So even in a strong neighborhood like this, overpricing will cost you time. Buyers, that longer market time is your opening for negotiation. Sellers, don't take that as a sign to relax. If you want a quicker sale, price with intention from the start. Based on what I'm seeing as we exit the summer season and go into the fall season, we're seeing prices remain pretty steady. We're still seeing that high sale list price ratio at about 97 to 99% if you include the new construction. New construction is obviously dominating the Origins market, and we're seeing so much demand from the overall community. It's hard to anticipate that we're seeing prices decrease too much. So kind of head into the fall, we're going to see some motivations on the selling side look a lot different than the summer, especially with school in season, everything's back into flow. And for me, that really leads down to two things. As a buyer, I think you have a lot more time to make educated decisions, but in certain demand segments of our market, you might want to act faster than others. For a seller, this means the market is still relatively moving, but it's not just on autopilot anymore. Whether you're looking to make a move in the next year in Watersound Origins, or if you're just keeping a good eye on what's going on in the overall community, understanding these trends will give you a massive advantage. If you want to see how your home, if you currently own a property right now, Watersound Origins fits in this overall picture, make sure you use information below. Get in touch with me. As a buyer, what kind of deal can you make right now, from townhomes to the single-family home, from new construction? We have so much experience that I'd love to give you an educated idea of what I think could happen in your situation. We can't wait to see you here at the beach soon.